Welcome to Very Honored Fraternity Esoterinerd Podcast, episode 94, in which Sal Santoro and I talk about the Crooked Path. But first, Transformations and Footnotes. This is the segment in which I read my father's book, verse by verse. Transformations, Chapter 4, Verse 1. I wake in the dawn and go walking. The night journeys are still very much with me, and I hold them without resisting them. The green of new grass after rain in the desert, the wildflowers shouting springtime intensify morning before it gets warm. I have been here many times before and will be again. No footnotes for today. Let's get to that interview, shall we? All right, I'm here at the Crooked Path in Burbank, California. What's the address again?
1403 West Magnolia.
All right. And so tell us a little bit about the Crooked Path.
Well, the Crooked Path is a collective of different occult philosophies. I kind of put it together to be a place where magicians in all systems can come and get what they need to do their great work.
Nice.
That's essentially what it's for. It's also a great place for people to come that are trying to learn. I don't want people to be intimidated when coming into the store. I want them to be embraced.
Yeah.
So I want people to come in here and know that they can ask me anything or anyone anything that's here and get the answers that they're seeking. And if they don't get them, then we'll help them find them.
Yeah.
That's the
main thing. And not like BS and like pull something out of,
No.
like if you don't know, you don't know,
Yeah, and I will
like that
straight
book,
up tell people.
Probably knows. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's it. Like I'm not a stone guy. I don't know. I have to call my stone person.
But we
to
have
find out
stones
everything.
here.
Oh yeah, we have.
And
stones.
they're much less expensive than other places that have similar stones, I must say.
Yeah, I try to keep them at about $1 to $4. I mean, there's some things I can't avoid, like aqua aura crystals. They're like $24, but we pay like $20 for them.
Yeah.
So it's like really expensive. But things other than that, it's just about people doing the work and getting the knowledge they need, which is why we have you coming in and doing a great class.
I'm looking around. We see Egyptian stuff. There's Greek. There's Celtic. There's Enochian. There's what else have we got?
Ifa. We got voodoo
Solomonic.
over there. You got Legba in the corner.
Got all the herbs you might need.
Yeah.
And
you got Santeria to voodoo to hoodoo.
Different colored candles, tarot cards, bunch of different tarot cards.
Yeah.
And so my workshop. There's a lot of workshops. There's people coming around.
I've got some great teachers. They're all following your suit. They're actually really great teachers. I've got Will, who is in Vedic. Is it called Vedic medicine? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ayurvedic.
Ayurvedic.
Yeah.
I always say that word wrong. Ayurvedic system.
I think that probably means Vedic. It's
Yeah.
like related to the Vedic.
So he is teaching Western root work with Eastern herbology.
And that's on the
Fused.
19th, right?
Yeah, that's this week.
That's the one that just says tea or something, right? Or...
No, that's tea leaf reading. That was Saturday.
Oh, okay.
That just
Got
went
it.
by. But Will is doing the root work class.
Nice.
And he's got a really great background in hoodoo and things along those systems. Then we've got your class, of course, which we will discuss. I've just had another great friend of mine who is a Reiki master, and she's an amazing medium and tarot reader, and she literally lives around the corner, and she's going to be offering a 7-week system for tarot readers.
Nice.
For people that want to get it more advanced and really take this in as a way of working and making a living doing it.
Oh, wow.
So she's going to try to teach them really properly. We've got that. In November, we've got a medicinal herbology class with a girl named Mia Salas. And she just graduated from an herbological college up in, I believe, in Oregon.
Okay.
She was just up there. We have Andrea, who's our resident stone girl. She's worked in a lot of great metaphysical stores, and she just knows stone energy really well. So we've got her. And I'm probably going to come back up and do just practical magic. It's not, I shouldn't say practical magic because that sounds so incredibly like Sandra Bullock. But it's definitely not that. It's definitely practical, it's spellcraft.
Right.
I'm going to be teaching a lot of Ptolemaic structure and planetary magic.
Cool.
Yeah.
So when I heard the name Crooked Path, the first thing that popped into my mind was the Path of the Flaming Sword. And so
Which is
when
one of its reasons.
Cool. And so when Sal had asked me if I would do a workshop here, I said, hey, can I do a 5-part workshop and do it every Friday? Because I was calculating from the date, my last day at Crunch Fitness I used to teach Friday nights yoga for 3 years, and then I put in my notice, and the 6th was my last day, so I said, okay, well, I'll start on the 13th. Hey, Friday the 13th. And go do Malkut. And then on October 20th, so if you're hearing this before October 20th, 2017, and you're near Burbank, you can go to this.
Yes.
However, if you're on the fence, then please don't, because there's actually not a ton of room, and we've already got kind of the tables full. But if you're like hearing this and you're like, oh my God, I gotta go to this, then check that out. There should be links, or if you go to the crookedpath.biz.
Yeah, .biz.
Is it Crooked Path Occult or just?
No, it's the crookedpath.biz.
Okay.
And then you've got us on Instagram, which is the Crooked Path _LA.
Got it.
And then we've got our Facebook, which is the ampersand.
Yeah.
Right? The Crooked Path.
Nice.
And that's Facebook, and you can find all the classes on there.
And also, if you go right now to Edward-Reib, and that's REIB.com, that's my real name. Those of you who only know me as Very Honored Freder BT, the cat's out of the bag. And right now there's a link also there and an explanation about what you're signing up for and where to click to get to it. So I imagine people listening to the Esoterinerd podcast aren't wholly unfamiliar with the Hermetic Tree of Life, but just in case, I'll just briefly explain. In 1652, a Jesuit priest named Athanasius Kircher diagrammed his visualization of the Sefer Yetzirah based on an earlier sketch that had been done by a different French Jesuit. And so now we know it as the Tree of Life, the one with the tarot cards on it, not the one with the... I shouldn't call it a dingleberry. That's not nice. No, but the one where it has an upside-down pentagram and the shin and Kof are missing and the paths are all rearranged. That's the Luria tree.
Wow.
So
that's a whole different.
Yeah, that's a whole different system. So people who like are way into tarot or maybe into Wicca or that kind of thing are more familiar with the Athanasius Kircher tree.
Yeah.
So the idea is we're starting in Malkut at the bottom of the tree, and just learning some basics of ceremonial magic. And if anybody has any questions, about what's going on, they can ask them, with me present. And those of you familiar with Golden Dawn, of course, you kind of know what I'm up to. I'm basically taking the whole order and compressing it into 5 days. Not including a lot of stuff, of course. So we're doing, Malkut, basically establishing temple in Malkut, and LBRP, basic Hebrew, kind of a deep analysis of the LBRP.
Middle pillar.
Yeah, and the middle pillar. So that's what we did last week. That's what you missed. So if you contact me, if you're planning to go, if you want to go to the Yesod, which is on the 20th, or the Hod, which is on October 27th, or on November 3rd, which is a Friday, is Netzach. And then the last one is Tiferet, which will be Portal and 5 = 6 in a 2-hour workshop.
2 hours.
And that's the what day? The 10th, November 10th. And then November 15th, I jump on a plane and go to South Africa and do it all again for those guys. Well, I'm going to do something similar, but I'm glad this is giving me like a backbone structure of like a workshop I can give, because I'm going to have a lot of time with those guys. Yeah, the Gnostic Church of the Black Sun Coup. I'll be bringing the mysteries that were taken from Africa back to Africa.
Circle.
They were asking me about God forms and saying, how do you know whether the God is really there or if it's just the image of the God? And I said, don't worry about that with God forms. It's just the image of the God. All that's important is that the spirits think that you're the God. And he was like, thank you so much. That's really helpful. And he said, that's exactly an example of, something that was probably passed on from an Egyptian priest to a Greek and then filtered down through the Western mysteries. And now it's, can come back to Africa.
Isn't that amazing? All those years to go full circle.
Right? So I'm looking forward to that. And then Nepal, of course. So that's kind of my last act in the Western mysteries for a while, and then I'm going to jump into Eastern for a while.
Do you have to get a bunch, this is a side question.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have to get a bunch of physical exams and shots?
I should,
going to
for sure.
And all that stuff?
I definitely should, but I'm not.
Awesome.
That's why I'm going to be there for a long time, is because part of that time is going to be spent with diarrhea and not wanting anybody to see me sweating so much, and
Some people think
being
it's
cared
funny.
for by a nice old lady that I can't communicate with except when her grandson's around. Stuff like that, I'm just sort of figure that's going to be on the agenda.
Do you talk to them regularly?
I talk to Kay in South Africa. I have a few people that I talk to in Nepal, but I'm kind of going to be on my own in Nepal. And then when I'm in Bhutan, they keep a close eye on people in Bhutan. Because there's 700,000 people. They're all Tibetan Buddhist. They all have a Tibetan Buddhist temple in their house. And so they don't allow Christian missionaries, apparently. And so someone heard that I was going, and they were like, "Oh, you got to smuggle Bibles." They give a shit about the Bible.
They're like porn.
Right?
I can see that.
So
it's kind of like porn.
the guy that usually people stay in the hotel, but I've been corresponding with the guy that's going to be my tour guide, so he's going to let me stay in his temple, and I'm going to give him a couple of these really beautiful books on Tibetan Buddhism that he can't get there. So
Wow.
Yeah. So then after that, I'm going to go to India, and eventually, I forget the name of it, but the old wooden pole that our metal poles here came from.
So when I talked
at first,
to you,
it's all meditation.
When I talked to you before, it was like you were not coming back ever.
I was feeling pretty dramatic,
I'm really glad for that. I don't think it would be good if you were forever, but.
I'm keeping my options open, I just kind of want to go kind of without, but I'm starting to develop that plan that I kind of want to compete in the pole championship series and pop in Australia or South Korea to see if I can qualify for the Arnold, and then I'll be performing on a pole for Arnold Schwarzenegger in
Really?
Yeah, in Ohio.
The Arnold.
Yeah.
The Arnold. Don't be a girly man. Don't be in a bikini.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
I could do it in heels.
Nice. So did I cover everything? Basically, Yesod is next. Contact me if you'd like to come so I can get you the handouts that you missed. And then you can kind of be caught up with what we're talking about.
Definitely.
And
I'm looking forward to it.
And let's see, this is the crookedpath.biz, and it says, wait, what is it, 818-7...
Oh my God, you asked me for my phone number?
Let's see. The Crooked Path, 818-736-5919. And they're open...
We're open pretty much 7 days a week. We're open from 11 to 8, Monday through Saturday. On Sunday, we're open from 12 to 5. And on the second and fourth Sundays of the month, we have what's called Sit a Spell, which is where people come in for free, and you can discuss any magical system or topic.
I like that that's going to continue to be a thing.
Yes, that was my goal. It was the first thing I came up with here, because I want to create a community. I want to create a place where people can find out more knowledge.
I really appreciated how everybody had their own pre-existing, well thought out and defined points of view about key questions that normally cause groups to splinter or not be on the same page. Like if you go into like an order where everybody thinks of God in a particular way, but you kind of think of it in more of a Gnostic, kind of like the Force, kind of like way. You're like compatible with Buddhism, but then at a certain point they're like, well, I thought you were a Christian. How could you be a Buddhist if you're a Christian? And it's like, okay, I think we're on different pages, dude.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah, so I try to do that, and I'll purposely, when the class is going on, I'll purposely pull up a taboo topic or a topic that makes people feel uneasy, just so I can get them to talk about it
in a friendly way.
Yes.
And then like we can all disagree and smile and be like, oh, that's interesting, and then even like come to understand why the other person sees it that way.
Yeah. And so it's really, that's a super important thing, and like it's free. It's bring munchies if you want.
And that's the second and fourth Tuesday
at 5 p.m. on Sunday.
Second and fourth Sunday of every month. At 5 p.m. And that's the one that's free. That's the one where you meet the people who are making up this community that's
and teaching
forming here
and stuff. Yeah.
And I just love that this place is very like, for someone who's a traditional like we were back in the day, traditional Golden Dawn. You've got like these beautiful blue cups that would make really good practicus cups.
Yeah.
And you've got these daggers that would make really good air daggers. But if somebody's a gardenarian, there's no A in there, or E, I always put a vowel in there, then those could be athames, and those could be, just regular chalices.
And for the altar, sure. And there's a lot of copper up there for like different bowls and different scrying materials. I've got some really great obsidian mirror discs, black discs that people use for divinations, and like also another thing that's coming up, a little side group is coming up right now. We're talking about doing more like Goetia.
Nice.
And actually stepping into that, and we're just gonna have a little study group.
Cool.
And try to grow together with that.
Very cool.
So it's always about that. Always trying to come up with different things.
I like how there seems to be a lot of people who are in the Vajrayana Buddhism, like myself, alongside some kind of Western path. Like there was the guy that makes the talismans.
Yeah.
He does a class here, right?
Yes, he does a tea leaf class, tea leaf reading. But he's got a background in a big Druid order here in North America that he was running a local chapter of, I believe, in Colorado at one point.
Yeah, so it's very eclectic here. Yeah. There's a lot of like really like expert people in their schools of magic getting along with mutual respect, which I love to see that. Yeah.
Like, I'm totally going to bring in Satanists and some TST people. And I've got another girl that I've just met that is really cool, that is going to be really good with Wicca, because we don't have a teacher for Wicca classes.
Nice.
So I'm going to bring her in, and just have all these, have people all in the room together, I think that's great. This weekend I connected with a Thelemic order, and I connected with 2 OTO orders down in Orange County, because I was at Pagan Pride.
Nice.
And which was really, really awesome. And I saw Lon Milo Duquette walk by.
Cool.
We didn't talk. He was carrying his guitar, and he was in his other zone. I didn't get to meet him yet. But
did you hear any of his music?
Yeah.
I'll close with a Duquette. I'll close this episode with a Lon Milo Duquette song.
He's so funny.
Yeah.
But
I'll have to find one I haven't already played.
He's he was teaching. Forrest came down. Forrest is a pretty known reader and clairvoyant and witch. She's got a line. I forget her website though, but her name is Forrest, and I've known her from the club scene in LA when she was younger. She moved to Ohio, and now she's got a really great little business going. And She does a lot of spellcraft and makes oils and stuff. So we met them. Pagan Pride was good this year.
Very cool. So you were able to get all this stuff back and forth? Sorry I wasn't able to help haul stuff around.
We pulled it off.
Oh, good.
We pulled it off for sure.
Nice. And, I saw the picture. It reminded me of the Ren Fair. Just like
totally
a park.
Did.
Yeah, that's
it's
cool.
Like it's kind of like almost like a public park fair kind of thing, That's cool.
But this is basically, I don't know. I guess you could see it as shameless self-promotion on the parts of Sal and myself, but really it's about a community. Yeah. I mean, I'm not like making a ton of money from this. I'm making a little, Oh, that's okay, But I mean, I'm for me, it's actually, I went through a thing where I was like, oh, well, I feel weird getting paid for this. But my ex, Janie, was saying, people always were paying for this.
but someone else was getting the money, and you were working for free for all those years. You should have been getting paid for that. Like when people had an issue with you, they thought that they were talking to the person they were paying. And I would get upset because I'm like, hey, I volunteer. I'm volunteering here. Like, don't.
Yeah.
Like I'm just giving you my energy freely. Like, why are you
coming back on?
Right. Yeah. But they were like, hey, I pay for this, and it's like, well, yeah, but that's separate from me. But I mean, yeah, in a regular non-culty kind of environment, I would have been getting paid for that. I should have been getting paid for that. So I'm for me and for the other, people that were brainwashed by the same cult as me. I'm entering, cautiously. I'm expanding my comfort zone to include getting paid to teach the mysteries.
Which is great. You have the knowledge, you should be getting taken care of for it. You put your money in.
And I'm really happy to see you doing this. Sal and I go way back. For those of you who haven't heard, I don't know the episode number, but there was an episode a couple years ago. That was like before you did Carnal Esoterica. It was like, that seemed to, I mean, from my point of view, I don't want to take more credit than I deserve, but it seemed to kind of get the ball rolling on some stuff.
It did. And, that was the start of it all. Carnal Esoterica, that podcast was really cool, and a lot of people liked that. I actually talked to people about that still, and it did help because we also discussed my other nom de plume,
right?
My other pen name.
Yeah.
But that came up as well. But I keep that completely separate.
But this seems like the answer to the question, like, what do you want to do with your life? Really, what's your heart's desire? And it was like, well, to make this.
Yeah.
And so when it's that, I'm supporting this with all my heart. I've given Sal a lot of my old, and my mom's old stuff.
Yeah, I know. I love seeing it everywhere.
There's all kinds of little magic things that are familiar to me around here.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, and I want that. When you come in the store, you see all these bottles in the window. They're very pretty, and I grabbed a majority of them. But the deal is, if you have a bottle, and you have a color that you like in the primaries, bring your bottle. Put your energy into it and put color into it and put it up on the shelf so you're always here.
Nice.
It's just, it creates that cradle for everyone.
Very cool.
That's super important. So that's where we're going with it,
Yeah.
And I love that. I love that feeling. And we're meeting new people every day.
Well, I'm gonna get back and work on some props for Friday. I got some Sculpey and some paint, and I need to repair my big rose. I have a big rose.
You have a
the 22 petal
rose, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So people can see the Hebrew big bright as day without having to squint and look at my lamed.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
that's gonna be beautiful.
I just have to repair the lamed or something.
I got Celeste.
Okay, cool.
I'm gonna take this really quick because I want her to meet you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
I will see you on Friday.
All right, sounds great.
Okay, bye.
Thank you, Sal, for being our guest on the Esoterinerd podcast tonight. Thank you to Susumu Ueda and his father and the other monks at Jofuku-in on Mount Koyasan for the music you're hearing right now. Thank you to Camille and Kennerly for the intro and outro to the interview itself. Thank you to Tangerine Dream for the album Ricochet, which played in the background during the Transformations and Footnotes segment. And most importantly, thank you, the Esoterinerd, listening to this podcast. Soon I'll be interviewing Adam Scott Miller. If you don't know that name, Google it. You probably already know his art. It's often used without permission by people who advertise to their demographic. Thank you all for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, Lon Milo Duquette.
I do not care who you worship as God. I do not care if you worship. I don't care who you pray to, or if you pray. I do not care if you're Muslim or Jew, Jain, Hindu, Christian, or Buddhist, Santeria, Condoleezza. Okay with me. You might believe in a scripture divine. You might believe in the Bible, or in words from the Quran. Elron or me. But if your faith needs to conquer the world, if your God needs more converts, if you've been told there'll be no peace on earth as long as there are unbelievers, if you believe that you'll never be free until you're dead, cold and buried, that's not religion, it's politics. And you've been had. You've let them make you a moron, bamboozled to worship the devil, tricked into selling your soul.